Good day, Blue Jays fans. This is the 2020 Toronto Blue Jays Sim. I'm JayBlue of Blue Jays From Away, the author of the 2020 Toronto Blue Jays Handbook. Welcome to the GM Games channel on YouTube, and this is going to be the week of May 18th to 25th. Toronto Blue Jays are doing quite well. Let's get right into the schedule. We just finished up last time. We had the first couple of starts from our good friend Nate Pearson, and we're just going to head here to our schedule so we can see what happened this past week. As you can see, we played the Houston Astros and the Baltimore Orioles. We went 5-2, so we had a really great start here to our week, and we're up to a 29-25 record overall. Our first game here against the Houston Astros, the disgraced Houston Astros. We had a nice win with a start from TJ Zeuch, and of course that's going to be Zeuch's last start for the foreseeable future because Chase Anderson is scheduled to come off the injured list. But we had a nice start from Zeuch, 3 runs, 6 1/3 innings. That's enough to get the Blue Jays the win. Jordan Romano, another scoreless outing, 1 1/3. 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, so good for Romano. And Giles struck out 2, getting his 12th save of the season. On the offensive side, we can see here that Bichette hit a solo home run, and Randall Grichuk hit a run-scoring double in the bottom of the 8th. We had home runs from Grichuk as well. He was 2 for 4 with 3 RBI. And Bo Bichette also, he's, again, 221 at this point. We'll see what he's been doing later in the sim. The second game was a loss to the Houston Astros, 8-1. Alex Bregman had a good game. He hit 2 home runs. Our starter was Pearson, and he gave up a pair of home runs. He went to 0-1, 3 runs in 4 innings. Just not the best start for him. But Shoemaker came in, also not the best outing. And Trent Thornton, another guy who's in the mix for a starting role. We've got these 3 guys here who are all in the mix for starting roles, and none of them really had a great game. Wilmer Font finished that off. We had a home run from Derek Fisher, who again is one of the hottest hitting guys on the team. And our next game, a win, 7-2 on the mound. We had Chase Anderson in his first start off the injured list. He had a solid start, 1 run, 5 innings. Shun Yamaguchi, 1 run and 1 1/3 innings. Wilmer Font, Jordan Romano, each providing excellent relief. Derek Fisher with another home run. Joe Panik hit his first one of the year, going 2 for 4. We've upped his time at second base. We've got Biggio giving Vladdy Guerrero Jr. a day off here at third base. But Panik, we've sort of increased his amount of time that he's going to get, on the diamond, just because Biggio has not had a great start to the year. And then we opened the series against Baltimore with an 8-1 win. So this is a better start than the last series against Baltimore, where I think we got swept. And the winning pitcher was Anthony Kay. Anthony Kay had a tremendous start, 8 1/3 innings, 1 run, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts. Just a solo home run doing the damage. And Trent Thornton finished off with 2 strikeouts. So really good pitching outing there against the Orioles. Vladdy Guerrero hit a double, was 2 for 5. Kevin Biggio 2 for 4. Maybe he's seeing that competition heating up with Joe Panik, and maybe starting to pick it up with the bat a little bit. Bo Bichette 1 for 3, also with a double and a couple of RBIs, adding a walk, and Kevin Biggio stole a base. We lost the next one. It was a 3-2 loss, close game. Pitching-wise, again, quite good. Hyunjin Ryu, 3 runs and 7 1/3, another quality start for Ryu. 7 strikeouts, no walks. Again, really nice to see that. Dolis and Romano, neither of whom allowed any runs in relief. And Randall Grichuk, his 11th home run of the year, was 1 for 4. Vladdy Guerrero hit 2 hits, and Lourdes Gurriel also had a pair of hits. And we move along to our 10-7 win against the Orioles. Vladdy Guerrero had a big game. He was 3 for 5 with a home run and 2 singles. Matt Shoemaker got the win. He came on in relief of Tanner Roark, who was pretty bad. He gave up 5 runs on 6 hits and 2 2/3. Matt Shoemaker, 2 2/3 innings, 1 run. That was a solo home run. TJ Zeuch also had a solid outing in relief, 2 1/3, no runs, 3 strikeouts. And Ken Giles picked up his 13th save of the year. hitting home runs for the Blue Jays. We can see that it was Vladdy Guerrero with his 10th and Danny Jansen with his 3rd. Jansen 1 for 2, Guerrero 3 for 5. As we mentioned, Lourdes Gurriel was 2 for 5, Randall Grichuk 2 for 5, Bo Bichette 3 for 5. So he's putting up some better numbers a little bit now. He did make his 13th error already. So through, towards the end of May, 13 errors. He's not really getting it done all that well defensively. And to finish off the week, we had an 8-3 win against Baltimore again. 3 out of 4 on the series. Gurriel hit 3 doubles, 3 for 5 there. Grichuk was 2 for 4 with his 12th home run. Brandon Drury also went yard for the Blue Jays. Bichette, a nice game, 1 for 3 with 2 walks and a run. And Danny Jansen hit a double. So that's about, I say, right for him, about 252, 331, 417. That's above average, and that's actually above league average offense, or right around league average offense. That's 99 OPS plus. Let's take a look at his defense a little bit. He's got a ZR of 0.4, 30% caught stealing rate, no passed balls. That's pretty good. I'm not going to really gripe about that at all. So that was the week that was for the Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the Buffalo Bisons now as we go down the system. The Bisons had a really strong week. They went 5-1 facing the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, the New York Yankees AAA club, and the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, the AAA club for the Philadelphia Phillies. So they just lost one game. Monday was off on the 18th. On the second day, we got a nice outing from Ryan Borucki. Here's Borucki. He went 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs but struck out 11. So a really nice outing there for Borucki. Mitch Walding hit a home run, his 7th. We had a solid game for these top 3 guys in the order, and Ruben Tejada as well. In the second game, we had a shutout of the Rail Riders. We had Thomas Pannone, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts for him, and Julian Merriweather in a relief role, 4 strikeouts and 3 innings. Really nice work for the pitching staff in this game. Doubles, we got Jonathan Davis, Santiago Espinal, Andy Burns 3 for 4. He is red hot right now. You'll see a little bit more from him for this week. Ruben Tejada, another 3 hits. Riley Adams with 3 hits on the 20th. On the 21st, we had another win, 8-6, so a little bit of a letdown from the pitching staff. Thomas Hatch was solid, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Jake Petrichka and Zach Jackson each gave up 2 runs in relief. And on offense, Andy Burns, another 3-hit game for him. He had a double as part of that. Anthony Alford, a double and a triple, going 2 for 4. Riley Adams, 2 for 4 as well. Mitch Walding, another home run in a 2-hit game. And then against Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, it's 7-5 win to open up the series. Another 3-hit game from Santiago Espinal, 3 hits from Patrick Kivlahan, who hit 2 home runs, so he was obviously the player of the game there, driving in 6 runs. Caleb Joseph, a couple of hits. Sean Reed-Foley, not a great outing, 5 runs, 9 hits, 4 innings, 6 strikeouts though. Conor Fisk is really turning it on now. Fisk is probably one of the forgotten guys in the Blue Jays rotation. He's 28. He has gone between a starter and a reliever, and has had a few years for the Blue Jays in the high minors. 2018, he split between New Hampshire and Buffalo, and he's been in Buffalo ever since. And that year, 2018, he really seemed to ratchet up his velocity. Let's see what they say his velocity is. 93 to 95. I've seen him hit as high as 98 in Buffalo. So, I think in a starter's role, or when he's throwing longer outings, he doesn't reach that high, but he really brought his velocity up around 2018 quite a bit, and that I think has really helped him, and the game seems to really like him this season. In the next game, we beat the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs 8-3, and we had another monster game from Andy Burns, 3 for 3, 2 walks, and I believe he had 2 home runs. There it is, 2 home runs. He's up to 6 on the season, and 2 more hits from Riley Adams, who's also hot. Jonathan Davis was 3 for 5. Patrick Kivlahan added his 10th home run of the year. He is leading the Bisons. Philippe Almont with a decent start, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Curtis Taylor with a whopping 5 strikeouts in just 3 innings, just 1 hit allowed. He is also rising to the challenge for the Buffalo Bisons and the Blue Jays organization. And the final game of the week was a loss for the Bisons, 2-0 to the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Barucki, another solid start, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 7 hits. And James Dykstra, 2 innings of scoreless relief, 4 strikeouts for Dykstra. Anthony Alford here, 2 hits, including a double. So that was really the only multi-hit game. And so the Buffalo Bisons are in 4th in the North Division. They're 20-23, a little bit under 500, but this last week was pretty good for them to just improve their record overall and make up some ground in that North Division in the International League. We're going to go to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. The Fisher Cats, we had something that I don't think I've ever seen in OOTP, and that was a rainout. I believe there was a scheduled game here on the 20th for the Fisher Cats, and that game was rained out and played as a doubleheader the next day. Now, OOTP did something wrong that the minor leagues wouldn't normally do, and we'll get to that in just a second. But that first game was a solid game, 9-3 win over Reading, the AA affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. We had Josh Palacios with a home run, 2 for 5, 3 RBI. Kevin Smith, 2 for 5. Demi Ormaloy grew up in Canada, 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 home runs actually, 3 runs and a walk. Alejandro Kirk also hit a home run, and so did Cullen Large. And Palacios was the deciding factor here. 3-run home run in the 8th. Andrew Sopko, a solid start, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Zach Lowe gave up a run in relief. So the first game of the doubleheader, 9-1 win. And what usually happens is when you have a rainout and they move it to another day, they will make both games 7 innings. They did not do that here. We played the full 9 innings with the Reading Fighting Phils batting in the bottom of the 9th. And not that it would have changed anything, but usually minor league policy is that if you're playing a doubleheader that is on the schedule beforehand, either beforehand or as part of a makeup date for a game that was never started, that's going to be a 7-inning each game doubleheader. Whereas if you've started a game, it gets suspended and you have to finish it on a later date, that game will be finished as a 9-inning game, and then the doubleheader game would be 7 innings. But what happened here is we have 2 9-inning games, so that is a little bit of an error from OOTP in their coding. We had a good offensive game. Ryan Noda, 2 for 5 with a home run. Gabriel Guerrero, 2 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 RBI for him, 4 RBI for Noda as well. Christian Williams also hit a double. Kirk hit a double, and Noda added a double to his home run. Patrick Murphy with a good start, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And John Harris finished it up with 2 scoreless innings. In the second part of the doubleheader, also 9 innings. You see here that the Fightin' Phils had the lead, so they didn't need to come to bat in the bottom of the 9th. We lost 5-3. Noda, another 2-hit game. He had a great doubleheader, 2 for 3. With a walk, and Kevin Smith 2 for 4 with a double. Logan Warmoth 2 for 4 with a home run. Joey Murray took the loss, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jake Fishman also gave up 2 more runs. To open up the series against the Trenton Thunder, the AA affiliate of the New York Yankees, we took a 4-2 loss. Palacios with a couple of hits, Kevin Smith with 3 hits, including a double, but that was pretty much everything except for a single from Gabriel Guerrero. Elvis Luciano gave up 4 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts in 4 innings, but the relief corps was pretty solid. Brian Baker, though he did walk 3 in 2 2/3 innings. Travis Bergen, Hector Perez, we're going to talk a little bit more about him. 5-3 loss was the second game to the Thunder. Vicuña was 2 for 4. Smith, Guerrero with a home run, and Josh Palacios with hits. Vicuña had a double. And Sean Weimer made his Double-A debut, giving up 4 runs, 3 of them earned in 2 1/3 innings, 4 walks. That's the big kicker there. 5 hits, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. John Harris, 4 1/3 scoreless innings in relief, and Justin Dillon, 2 1/3 and giving up a run. And finally, we had an 11-inning win at home against Trenton, 4-3. Colin Large with a walk-off single. Large was pinch hitting, he'd come into the game for Logan Warmoth, who was not injured. He just came out of the game, probably for defense, and Large got that walk-off win. Brock Lundquist had a big game, a double, a single, and a home run, 3 for 5, 1 RBI, 2 runs scored for him. Palacios was 2 for 5. Alejandro Kirk walked 3 times. On the mound, Andrew Sopko, 5 innings, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts, 8 hits. Maximo Castillo came out of the game because of an injury. He went 2 2/3, but really strong outing for Castillo. He's got a mild oblique strain. He's day-to-day for 3 days. Brad Wilson with another solid outing, and Hector Perez, 2 innings of scoreless ball to get the win. 3 strikeouts, 1 hit. And that was the week for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. New Hampshire Fisher Cats are sitting at a 19-24 record. They are 10 games back, 5th in the Eastern Division of the Eastern League. That's still the Fisher Cats. We're going to go down to the Dunedin Blue Jays. And it's going to be a second to slow to load. And we had another great week for the Dunedin Blue Jays. They've brought their record up to 25-18 with a 6-1 week, and they're 2 games back, second in the Florida State League North Division. Here against the Florida Fire Frogs, the Atlanta Braves advanced A affiliate. They won 6-2 as part of a 4-game sweep. Griffin Conine hit a home run. Norberto Obeso, 2 for 3 with 2 RBI, including a double. Otto Lopez, 1 for 3 with a walk. And on pitching, that's a weird turn of the phrase, but on the mound, Graham Spraker, another strong outing, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And then a save from Juan DePaula, who is now being used in a relief role since his promotion. 6-1 win. Again, another strong outing from the pitchers. Simeon Woods Richardson, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And Maverick Bufo with 2 1/3 innings of relief to get the win as we came back in the 8th inning with 5 runs in the 8th, including a double for Chavez Young, Norberto Obeso with a run-scoring single, and Nick Podkuhl with a 2-run single. We had 3 hits from Jake Brote, including a triple, and Chavez Young had a double. And those were the only extra base hits. Only multi-hit game was Jake Brote. 6-2 was the other win for the Dunedin Blue Jays over the Florida Fire Frogs. Griffin Conine with a multi-hit game. He hit a double, and we got Jake Brote hitting a double as well, going 2 for 3. Nick Podkuhl, 2 for 4. And he was just fine. So we had a nice strong game there from certain offensive team members. Justin Maesi, 5 2/3, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Watson, Ellenbest, Larkins all threw a scoreless inning plus or so for the win. And then the final game to complete the sweep, a 12-3 win. We had some really nice games, especially from Chavez Young, who was 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and a triple. He drove in 5 runs. Samad Taylor also had 2 doubles, 3 for 5, 1 RBI, 1 run. Gabriel Moreno, 2 for 5, including a double, 2 RBI. Norberto Obeso, 2 for 4, including 2 singles. And Otto Lopez was 2 for 6. So really strong offensive game up and down the lineup. Only players to not get a hit were Casey Clemens and Nick Podkuhl. Josh Winkowski got the win. Not his best start, but solid. 5 2/3, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And Alex Nolan, a multi-inning save, 3 1/3, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Opening up the series against Fort Myers, the Dunedin Blue Jays picked up a win, 9-5. Sorry, this is Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, formerly the Fort Myers Miracle. They are the affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. Reggie Pruitt had a big game, 3 for 4, including a double. And Samad Taylor, another outstanding game, 2 for 2, 2 walks, and a double for him. Jake Brodt hit a home run, 2 for 4, 2 RBI, including that home run. And Griffin Conine was 2 for 4 with a double and 3 RBI. Alek Manoah, I think that's his best outing of the year. As you can see, 5 innings, no runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Cree Finfrock was hit hard. Connor Law was hit hard. Juan DePaula and Turner Larkins finished it off there. 5-1 loss to Fort Myers. 2 hits for Chris Beck, who hit a triple. And just 1 hit for Young, Aiello, and Obeso. Nick Podkuhl was injured in this one at a collision at the base. And he's got a hyperextended elbow, day-to-day, minimal, for 1 week. We may put him on the injured list. It's just 7 days in the minor leagues. We'll have to see about that. Graham Spraker, another solid start. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Maverick Bufo got hit a little bit in this one, giving up 3 runs. And to finish out the week, a 7-5 win against the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles. Reggie Pruitt, another big game from the young center fielder. He seems to be turning it on lately. He was on my watch list for guys that were just not getting it done, and he has really turned it on. His batting average is up to 258 now. I think he was under 200 for a while. And he was 4 for 5 in this one with a double, although he's not stealing many bases, and Pruitt's real calling card is a speed, which I'd say is even a 70 on the 20 to 80 scale. Samad Taylor, another big game for him, 3 for 4 with a triple. And then we had, hits, singles from Conine, Aiello, Lopez, Moreno, Young, and Beck. Simeon Woods Richardson, 5 2/3, 1 run. So another strong start for Woods Richardson. Finfrock was hit hard and blew the save in his inning of work, giving up 2 runs. Connor Law, Marcus Reyes, Juan DePaula gets the win, and Turner Larkins the save. So that was a strong week from the Dunedin Blue Jays, and we go to the Lansing Lugnuts, who remain in first place in their division. Even though their week wasn't necessarily the best, they went 4-3, starting with a loss to the West Michigan Whitecaps, the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. We had Jared DeCesare coming out of the game fairly early. Grant Townsend with 2 innings, giving up a run on 5 hits. Juan Diaz, 2 runs in 1 2/3, and Luis Quinones finishing it off. Cameron Eden hit his 4th home run of the year, 1 for 4, and that was pretty much the only significant offensive output for the Lansing Lugnuts. 1-3, so we lost 3-1 to the West Michigan Whitecaps in Game 2 of that series. May actually have been, they started the series on the Sunday, so that was Game 3 of the series, losing the series. Will Robertson, 2 hits for him, including singles. LJ Talley with a double. And Cameron Eden stole a base. Juan Nunez, 4 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Gillingham gave up a run in 2 2/3. Stadler, Huffman, and Karachi finished it off. Opening their series against the Dayton Dragons, they won 7-3. Dayton is pretty bad. They're 14-25 at this point in the sim. And Hunter Steinmetz provided 3 hits, including all 3 singles and 2 RBI, while Tanner Morris was 2 for 3 with a double. Will Robertson, 1 for 3 with a walk and a double. And Yorman Rodriguez, 2 for 4 with a double. DJ Neal hit a home run, going 1 for 5. He seems to be cooling off. Not as many multi-hit games for DJ Neal, but he is still hitting with a little bit of pop. And on the mound, Nick Fraze, 2 innings. Didn't look like he was injured. Here we are. And he's got a sore shoulder, 6 weeks for Fraze. We're going to put him on. He should already be on the injured list. I think they are indeed handling we could activate him, but I don't think he's been on the list long enough. So they are handling the injured list transactions. It's just promotions and demotions that we are handling. Donnie Sellers, 2 1/3 strong innings. Hobie Harris was roughed up, 3 home runs in 2 2/3 innings. Mitch McCown, Josh Hyatt finished it off. And then we had a loss to Dayton. DJ Neal with a double. McGregory Contreras with 2 doubles and 3 RBI. And on the mound, Adam Kloffenstein, 6 1/3, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Kloffenstein's been solid. He's been mostly good. I am a little concerned about his strikeout totals. He's got 25 strikeouts, 21 walks, and 46 innings. So that is definitely something that is a little concerning. He's got a lot of room to grow with his stuff, and he's still only 19 years old. So I'm not too worried about Kloffenstein right now. That said, it is definitely, if he's not starting to bring that strikeout rate up by the end of the year, I'm definitely going to be concerned. Fitz Stadler gave up a couple runs. Parker Karachi gave up 3 runs. The pitching staff, anybody who lasted more than a third of an inning, was not dealt with kindly by Dayton. But then we bounced back for a 10-4 win. Tanner Morris, 5 for 5. Morris had a double and 4 singles, and a really nice game there for Morris. DJ Neal, another nice game, 3 for 6, including no doubles for Neal, but he did drive in 3 runs. Will Robertson hit a home run, driving in 3, 2 walks for him as well. Cameron Eden, 2 for 4. LJ Talley, 3 for 5, including a double. Eden had a double as well. And Jesus Lopez, 2 for 6, 2 runs and an RBI. On the mound, Will McAffer was hit a fair bit, 2 home runs, 7 hits, 4 runs, and 4 2/3. Grant Townsend, 1 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Grayson Huffman gave up a hit to the only batter he faced, and Luis Quinones got the save, 2 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And then we opened up against the Great Lake Loons, 7-4 with the win for the first game against the Loons. Great Lakes Loons are not far away. They play in Midland, Michigan, about an hour-and-a-half drive from Lansing. It's a nice little drive through the countryside, having been there a couple of times. And Dow Diamond is a small park, but it's quite cozy and has a really nice feel to it. DJ Neal, 2 for 5. He hit a double. Tanner Morris, 2 for 4 with 2 walks. And Cameron Eden, 2 for 6 with a double. He's got 19 doubles already this year. He's a doubles machine. Jordan Groshans, 2 hits, showing a little bit of life. Hunter Steinmetz, 2 for 3. And Jesus Lopez also hit a double and drove in 2. Jared DeCesare, a strong outing on the mound, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Parker Karachi, the second time this week that he got hammered, so his ERA has ballooned to 10.13. And then the final game of the week, 9-4 win for the Lugnuts over the Loons. Again, Jesus Lopez, another strong week. He hit a triple and a double, driving in 4 runs. Will Robertson hit a double, 1 for 5. Tanner Morris, 2 for 5, with a double and a triple. And LJ Talley, 2 for 5. If we're watching Groshans, he was 0 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. He's really quite struggling. We'll talk about him in a second. So Juan Nunez, 4 1/3, 4 runs. Hobie Harris, strong outing after a poor outing before. And Jesus Lopez was our player of the game. So now that we've summarized all of the games this sim, let's take a look at the overall picture. We have batting stats here for our pitchers, so we don't want that. Really pitching well are a number of guys here in Lansing. We've got Kloffenstein has been okay. Juan Nunez is, he's not doing great. He's kind of under the radar. A lot of walks and not as many strikeouts as you want to see from a guy with a 3.10 ERA. Donnie Sellers has also been pitching really nicely under the radar. He's only pitched in 16 1/3 games with 1.65 ERA. Now, we do have 15 players here. I am going to move Will McAffer to the bullpen. I'm just going to set his pitch count to 0, which means that there's no limit, and I'm going to force the role as a reliever. Okay, and we're going to ask our good friend Luis Hurtado. And he's putting Luke Gillingham in the rotation. It's very interesting because I would have seen someone like Fitz Stadler, who spent a lot of the season as a starter last year, or Grant Townsend going into the rotation. Townsend has started in the past, so it's interesting to see that he wants our lefty Luke Gillingham moving into the starting rotation. And you can see that Luke Gillingham is 26. Again, he was a pitcher in, I believe it was the Naval Academy, and he like most servicemen, had to serve for at least 2 years before he could get a waiver that allowed him to return to professional baseball. So Gillingham is 26, but he's only really been back. You can see he started in 2016 and then returned to professional ball in 2019. Let's take a look at our hitters really standing out. We have a few guys who are really standing out and really putting up some great numbers. Cameron Eden has a 157 OPS plus. Hunter Steinmetz in limited opportunity has a 197. Now, he does have experience in Dunedin last year. Tanner Morris, 145. He's also really come on strong. It's interesting to see these guys because they're very much doubles hitters. They're not really showing home run potential. Eden's profile, if this is to be believed, OSA has a bit better opinion of him than our own head scout, Shane Farrell. But if this seems, he seems like he's going to be a fringe major leaguer. He's got decent speed, decent outfield range. His ratings for infield are solid, so he could be a decent infielder. He's already got a 40 shortstop rating. So Eden, it's very interesting to see this. He's got tons of doubles pop. He's not hitting a ton of home runs. And the same goes for Tanner Morris, who, again, doesn't quite have the home run power that Eden has, but he's projected to be more in eye and discipline and avoiding strikeouts. When we take a look at OSA, our head scout, they basically have about the same opinion. And then Will Robertson is doing quite well so far. Very limited contact ability according to our head scout, but lots of power, and the OSA seems to have a better opinion than we do. Let's move up to the Dunedin Blue Jays. For the hitting side for the Dunedin Blue Jays, we're really watching Samad Taylor here. Samad Taylor, a 161 OPS plus, 927 OPS, 13 doubles, 7 home runs. Samad Taylor's a smaller guy, but he's very strong in the wrists, and he can definitely drive the ball. He's also really fast, but he only has 2 stolen bases. You can see he's got 80 speed, 60 stealing. Also, a guy we're keeping an eye on here, obviously Griffin Conine, but Chavez Young having a solid outing so far. He's a switch hitter, also got great speed. His outfield ratings are not fantastic, although I've seen him play the outfield in Lansing last year or the year before, and this guy can cover a ton of ground and has a really strong arm. So I think their defensive ratings are a little low for Chavez Young, who is a really strong defensive player. Jake Brote, solid, putting up some good numbers. Again, he's a guy who has been in... is just getting his first chance in Dunedin, but he's been up to New Hampshire for a couple of games. On the mound, Winkowski has been strong. Woods Richardson has been strong of late. Graham Spraker is a guy that we're watching for a promotion, as well as Turner Larkins. So these are a couple of guys that we're keeping an eye on for promotion. We have 17 pitchers here, and we can definitely move somebody up. For New Hampshire, these guys are not doing well. They're 19 and 24. Luciano is still struggling. Hector Perez has been great as a closer. If you see what he's been doing Pitching stats, we go to pitching splits, and we see as a reliever, he's got 5 2/3 scoreless innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. So he is turning into a monster from the bullpen. And we've got a day-to-day injury for Maximo Castillo. Brian Baker is a guy that we're watching. He just does not have the stuff that we think he should, or the movement and control. It says here he's a 90 to 92 pitcher, but he's been in the high 90s. I think we've covered that already. Overton has also not been impressive. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, though, and I do like that ratio. On the offensive side, guys that we're keeping an eye on as Kirk. He hasn't been hot, but he's still got a 123 OPS plus, 13 doubles, 6 home runs. So even though his average is 220, he's taking so many walks that he's actually quite a useful player, and he's producing enough power. Ryan Noda has been coming along a little bit of power this week, and again, those 44 walks are pretty impressive. His OBP is over 200 points higher than his batting average. Other than that, Josh Palacios has really been one of our better hitters. Kevin Vicuña has been sliding lately. He hasn't really done a lot, and Demi Ormaloy has not really done a lot. We'll move up to the Buffalo Bisons, where Thomas Hatch has been solid since coming up from New Hampshire. Baraki has been turning things around. He's got an 8 walk to 35 strikeout rate. And Curtis Taylor and James Dykstra have been, quietly doing the job. So has Conor Fisk, a 1.19 ERA, quietly doing the job, but he's been picking up a lot of innings when the starters have faltered. And Curtis Taylor, he's been another guy coming up from New Hampshire. 1 walk, 15 strikeouts in 12 innings. That is outstanding. And for the batters, we've got Patrick Kivlahan, who has been one of the best hitters for us. 10 home runs, leads the team. Andy Burns has been red hot. You can see that fire next to his name. He's got a 113 OPS plus, 278, 333, 443, 8 doubles, 6 home runs. Jonathan Davis has been solid. Caleb Joseph has been pretty good, but Riley Adams has not. And so that's going to be an interesting thing to see how these guys fight for playing time. Santiago Espinal, very solid, hitting over 300, and good doubles power and gap power. Finally, we turn our attention back to the Blue Jays. So one of the great stories is Pearson got his first win. Anthony Kay was outstanding, and Hyunjin Ryu continues to be quite consistent, and only 11 walks and 71 1/3 innings for the Blue Jays. That's pretty terrific. In the bullpen, Matt Shoemaker has been not great. Jordan Romano's been good. Trent Thornton needs to give us a reason to trust him in the rotation again. And TJ Zoik, we've moved to the bullpen. We're actually just going to remove that set starting pitcher from there. Now, for the hitters, Danny Jansen's been around league average, and that's actually all you want from a catcher these days. Low strikeout rate, good walk rate. He's got a 331 OBP. That's well above league average. So that's pretty solid for what we're getting from him. Rowdy has been cooling off quickly. 248, 338, 526. He still has 11 home runs, which is second on the team. Randall Grichuk has moved into first place on the team, 126 OPS plus, but Derek Fisher continues to swing that hot bat. He had a couple home runs this week, 151 OPS plus. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., 136, and Bo Bichette is struggling a bit at 88, but I think he had a decent week. And that's it for this week. I'm JayBlue, and you've been listening to the Toronto Blue Jays sim for the 2020 season on Out of the Park Baseball 21, and thanks to GM Games. You can check out my stuff. I'm at Twitter at JaysFromAway, and come on back next time, and we'll see you soon.